always want to make sure, at least once a show, I give you a big update on any of the things happening in the world of the ACLJ. And look, sometimes these cases, they may seem individually on a small scale, but you got to understand that the big impact, worldwide impact or country impact, or even statewide impact, that it can happen. And make sure that what I also wanted to do is refresh you to know that if you're dealing with something similar, that you can always reach out to the ACLJ. We have attorneys on standby ready to talk with you. And they will get you all set up. And again, that is at no cost to you because people donate, especially during these months, like the Double Your Impact Drive that's happening right now. Because of people like you that support the work, we are able to offer all of our legal clients at no cost. So understand that. Because of your support, people like this current client we're about to discuss are able to have a top-tier legal team. Now, Liam is joining us from our offices in Washington, D.C. Liam's one of our attorneys here at the ACLJ. I wanted you to just first, let's set up what this situation is out of the state of Georgia.
Some of our listeners might remember Jason. He is a passionate evangelist who works near an abortion clinic. He is passionate about life and offering these mothers who are going there other options. Unfortunately, what happened is that the city of Forest Park, Georgia, essentially put a heckler's veto into the permit. What I mean by that is there was text on the permit that said if anyone complains about this permit, it's revoked. Well, of course, the abortion clinic complained, and so they tried to cite him for these ordinances. They tried to hold him criminally liable, and the ACLJ stepped in right away to make sure that that didn't happen.
Yeah, so of course, that is when the ACLJ team gets involved. Now, the case took an interesting turn. Will, I know you know sort of more of the facts as well. Took an interesting turn, but there is a bigger side to this that means, though, I'm going to claim it here, it's definitely a at least partial victory, we know we have to keep fighting.
That's right. And so, Liam, what the absurdity of the matter that you can get a permit, but then if anyone is concerned about what you got the permit approved for, you could end up being arrested. I mean, the absurdity of that on its face is not lost on us. But there was a hearing yesterday because he was arrested, was being charged, and you had to go to court yesterday. Tell us what happened as we were able to get a victory in that, but also what comes next.
What happened was simple. We were there ready for trial, we're ready to hit them with these motions that we had filed. That's what the ACLJ does. And at the last minute, and we see this pattern a lot, you know, the process is the punishment. They know they can't win at trial. At the last minute, they decided to dismiss the case without prejudice. They told us that, hey, great motions, but we're not going to hear them today. Your client can go home. Now, that's a victory. I don't want to belittle that. You know, our client got to go home and face no criminal liability. But we knew that wasn't okay. This insidious sentence that says these permits can be revoked at any time is still on their permits. So we said, absolutely not. We're not going to, you're not going to be able to steal our victory away from us. So we're talking with Jason right now, and we're planning a federal lawsuit. We want to see the city in court, and we want to make it plain as day. That's not what the First Amendment is. These pro-life advocates have a right to be out there. They have a right to be heard. And, you know, I think we've got a lot of ACLJ attorneys working on this to make sure that not only his win yesterday doesn't happen again, but anyone else who wants to be passionate about their pro-life views on the streets of Georgia has that opportunity.
Well, I think, one, it's a testament to the hard work of our attorneys like yourself and all of your colleagues that put in the time, show up, do the work to defend our clients at no cost to them. Someone who just wants to stand up for life under the threat of an arrest. It's great. We got a victory for our client. The state and city clearly was not prepared to even defend what they know, I assume is a heckler's veto here. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that threat goes away. We get a victory for the individual now, but we have to push back and get real justice for everyone in Georgia, of all places, that the First Amendment can be taken away by a heckler's veto. And we have to push back at no cost to the client so that we can get real justice and a real victory here that's lasting for people.
Let me tell you something about Jason. He is a full-time evangelist. This is his day job, right? This is what he goes out and does. So if he were to go to a traditional law firm, that's just not an option. He couldn't afford that. What really the the heroes of this story are the ACLJ champions who are making sure that people like Jason have a top-notch legal team. When I think of the hours that me and all the other attorneys have put in on this case, and we're about to for a federal lawsuit, I can't help but thank all those people who make this possible for people like him.
Yep, and that is absolutely right. And that is why we have these special months. And look, you hear about this at the ACLJ. This is just one of many that we are working on all the time. You've heard from Liam. You'll hear from some of our other attorneys from time to time. Continually, there are new cases, new intake cases coming in every day. And maybe you have dealt with a situation like this, or you feel like you may be dealing with one in the future. I encourage you to go to aclj.org, look around, look at our legal help section. Make sure you know your rights. Make sure you know what you can and can't do, or make sure that if you need a lawyer, that we're here for you. All you have to do is go to the ACLJ site, click and get help, and you will be immediately attached to a lawyer, and the conversation begins. It doesn't go to a big call center, doesn't go, it gets dispatched directly through the website. And as long as it's within our scope, we'll give you our options. You'll start the discussion. But again, all of that happens at no cost to our client. But people like this in Georgia who simply want to demonstrate their pro-life beliefs, but are told they can't. And again, as Liam said, likely would not have the financial resources to go hire a big top-notch legal team like we have at the ACLJ. But because people like you are ready and waiting, and you're there and you are supporting the work, whether that is monthly as an ACLJ champion or whether that is a one-time donation, right now it does not matter. We really appreciate the support.